Valentine's Day. A celebration of romantic love. An image of a cherub angel named Cupid aiming his arrows at the unsuspecting populace comes to mind when thinking of it. In fact, elements of his story and his love for Psyche found their way into Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, as well as the fairy tales Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. It is a tale about overcoming the obstacles of love, which has become, really, the foundation of all good love stories over time. But what is the real, true story of Valentine's Day? That is the story of Saint Valentine. According to the internet, there were actually a couple of different Saint Valentines. One was a Roman priest who performed weddings in secret against the wishes of the authorities during the 3rd century. Another account says he was actually the Bishop of Tierney, who also performed these secret weddings. Both of these people were put to death for their actions, one of which was done on February 14th of the year 269, which is where the date of the holiday comes from. However, the idea that Valentine's Day is a holiday meant to celebrate romantic love may very well come from one Geoffrey Chaucer. According to some of my relatives, I myself am a direct descendant of the great poet, but that is neither here nor there. His work, The Parliament of Fowls, a poem written in the 14th century, is about a group of birds coming together in early spring on what he calls Saint Valentine's Day, that's saint spelled S-E-Y-N-T, in order to choose their mates. This is widely credited to be one of the earliest and arguably most famous works connecting romance and Valentine's Day. So, if you're one of those bitter, lonely people that hates Valentine's Day, now you have someone to blame. My ancestor, according to my aunts at least, Geoffrey Chaucer, author of the Canterbury Tales. History can be a bit messy at times, kind of like love itself. I think we should talk about it.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to discuss love. I love love. Love stories are one of my favorite kinds of stories to read and write about. Really, I'm a romantic at heart. But if we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of love and the history of Valentine's Day, we need to first settle on a definition.
Love is defined as a deep and intense feeling of affection. It can be for a romantic partner, family members, friends, pets. There are countless different kinds of love a human can feel in their lifetime. But today we are going to talk about romantic love. Some people, cynics really, like to say that love isn't real, that it's just a chemical reaction in the brain. But literally everything we feel is just a chemical reaction in the brain. That doesn't mean anything. It's literally just how we process emotions. We evolved to form attachments to other people because when we work together, we survive longer. It's just nature.
First, we defined love. Now, we have to draw a line between it and other more immediate emotions. I very much dislike the term lust because of its biblical connotations and complete divorce from the natural and normal human attractions people have between one another. But there is no such thing as love at first sight. You have to truly know someone to love them. And the flood of emotions one feels when they see someone they're attracted to, as much as I hate calling it lust, it certainly isn't love. You can have a crush on someone, sure, have growing feelings for them, like them, but it isn't love until you fall.
Falling in love feels like being on top of the first hill of a roller coaster. It can make you sick, but man, is it fun. It comes from getting to know the person, becoming in tune with their personality, having things in common, and admiring them for how good, or how bad, depending on you yourself as a person, of a person they are. It's like the ocean's undertow. You just keep going deeper and deeper, but you love it. And then comes the honeymoon era. Love bombs, gifts, cuddles, sex. It's like paradise. Everything is perfect and simple, and the puzzle pieces align just right. But that twilight afterglow doesn't last forever. Emotions calm, sexual appetites become quenched. You become used to the person being around. Soon, you start burping and farting in front of each other, and eventually you become family. You move in together, start working together to pay bills, take care of the house and the animals. maybe even get married and have kids. At that point, they become your partner, not just a financial partner. A spiritual, romantic life partner. And life partner doesn't just mean partner for life. It also means a partner to go through life with you, through the ups and downs, and sickness and in health, no matter what. In my eyes, literally the only difference between a husband and a partner is a piece of paper. Now, I'm not downplaying marriage, for I too want to marry my partner. Soon, in fact, as we're engaged. I just think having this kind of relationship before you're married is important. You have to grow together, beyond the simple, naive dynamic of boyfriends or girlfriends, or boyfriend and girlfriend, and build up that foundation of reality and real, sturdy emotions that bind you together.
The difference between real love and the pastel-painted Disney-esque fairy tale love I always wanted is that in real love, you have to work. You have to communicate. You have to put in romantic effort after that honeymoon period. You have to show that person just how special they are to you. And that brings us to one of the reasons why a lot of people dislike Valentine's Day.
I have seen and heard on both social media and in real life quite a number of people complain, saying that if one needs the excuse of such a holiday to be romantic, then they're not really a good partner. And while I agree with that to a certain extent, I also have to acknowledge the fact that these people are mostly in heterosexual relationships and more often than not complain about their partners and never share stories about the supposed romance that happens every day other than Valentine's Day. I'm not going to say that all straight love isn't real, but a lot of it just can't be because cisgender heterosexual men tend to be misogynistic, and if you think you own a woman and view her as your property and less than, you can't really love her, can you? Sure, you can prize her, treasure her, want to keep her safe, but that really isn't any different than how you feel about that truck, is it? That is why I honestly pity a lot of straight couples. A lot of them will never know the true, equal, open, and honest love that two men or two women share. I'm not talking about polyamory, that's an entirely different conversation. This kind of love can be in either polyamory or monogamy, but it's rare, in my opinion, for it to blossom between a man and a woman, especially in the American South, where I am. It just hasn't been fought for the way gay and lesbian love has been. We've been here since the beginning of time, to be sure. It is only natural, in my opinion, to find a man loving another man, or a woman loving another woman, throughout history, time and time again, amongst the millions of untold queer love stories throughout the ages, if you know what you're looking for. But in truth, we have had to fight every day of our lives just to exist as ourselves, to hold the hand of the one we love in public, to kiss them, to embrace them, and that kind of battle-hardened love just makes you appreciate it more. It makes you love all the more passionately, more fiercely. It makes you truly know your partner's scarred heart and appreciate them and the battles they fought just to be here with you.
I'm not saying my love is better than that of a heterosexual couple. I'm just saying it's different. Love is love, of course, but one of these loves was fought for, fiercely, on the battlefield, just so that it would be recognized. And despite efforts, these battles are still raging today. The other was just kind of always there, as the default, stock image, as a given. Now, I'm not meaning to ruffle any feathers, I'm just sharing my opinion, which is based on my experiences and LGBTQIA+ history. All's fair in love and war, right? Maybe we should get back to the roots of the holiday.
Valentine's Day, as we know it, could have been taken from the pagan holiday Lupercalia. In ancient Rome, this holiday was celebrated for centuries in the middle of February, putting focus on fertility. Men would strip naked and sacrifice a goat and a dog.
Pagans were all about fertility. That's basically the cisgender heterosexual version of love when you think about it. All day long, TERFs will exclude and deny the existence of trans women, effectively reducing themselves to a baby factory with their own words, making it sound like all they are, all they have to offer the world, is their ability to bear children, as if that's all womanhood really means to them. Transphobia has the power to turn feminists into misogynists. It's crazy. I say if the straights hate Valentine's Day so much, we should take it and gay it up. Celebrate who we love. That's basically pride anyway, at least how I've always defined it. Valentine's Day can be the more romantic version of pride. Less harnesses and jock straps and more tuxedos and dresses. Less poppers and more candy hearts. We do need all the drag queens singing classic love songs, though.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love men. I love their scent and their taste. I love their gentleness, their kindness, and their empathy. I love their laughter and their tears. I love their drive and their passion. I love their nerdiness and I love their artistry. I love their chivalry, their honor, their courage, ferocity, and their mercy. I love men, and I won't shy away from that anymore. I take pride in myself and who I'm attracted to, and I won't apologize for it.
But I'm in love with my partner, because he has all of these qualities and more. He's a healer, and a lover, and a fighter. He's both fierce and gentle. He's not just nice, he's kind. He's intelligent and in tune with his emotions. Loves animals, cares about people, loves and respects his mother. He's just a great guy all around. In fact, he took care of me when I had my mental breakdown. Called me every evening while I was in the hospital for a week and stayed by my side for months afterward while my body and mind got used to the cocktail of medication I was on. He didn't once blame me for losing my job over my mental health, and I couldn't be more proud to say that I love him. The first date he ever took me on was to Build-A-Bear. You see, he had read my novel, Dream, which opens with the main character finding his old childhood toys, one of which was a raggedy old teddy bear named Theodore, and he asked me if I had a Theodore of my own. I told him I didn't, as my mother had gotten rid of all of my childhood toys. Well, he said we should change that, and the rest is history. But I wasn't always so lucky in love. There is a dark side to love. It's called heart sickness, which almost always leads to heartbreak. A number of different reasons can cause one to be heartsick, from betrayal to abuse to just drifting apart. Most of my heart sickness throughout the years was because of my anxiety and having exes whose hobbies included gaslighting me. To be sure, all of these things can cause heartbreak as well, including till death do us part. There is a plan for a whole Teddy Bear Talks video about death in the future, so I won't get too far into that, but I will say, the heartbreak I saw my mom go through when my father died was probably the most tragic thing I've ever seen, and I commend her strength.
The worst heartbreak I ever had was, surprisingly, from my first boyfriend, who I only dated for a few months. But I had romanticized this idea of him so much in my head that I saw him as my Prince Charming, my happily ever after. And even though he mentally and emotionally abused me, cheated on me and blamed me for it, it just wasn't fair of me to put that kind of pressure on him. To be perfect in every way. To love me in such a fantastical way that I myself couldn't even describe it. Part of me thinks he was such a bad boyfriend because, subconsciously, he was trying to show me that he was just human, not some princely paragon of chivalry. So, in a lot of ways, I've broken my own heart. The easiest heartbreak I've ever experienced, and this may surprise a lot of you, was that of my ex of 7 years, technically my fiancé. This is the relationship I speak on often, the one where we tried to be polyamorous, at an attempt at salvaging the love we were already losing. And it seemed to work for a little bit, but eventually our third became abusive to me, and my original ex, the fiancé, the one that I spent 7 years of my life on, ended up abusing me along with him. And I was just so exhausted by it all that, while there was a period of mourning, it wasn't at all heartbreaking. I was just kinda sad that I wasted 7 years of my life, of my youth, my time and energy and love on such a disloyal man. Funny, both him and the third hated Valentine's Day. I'm starting to see that as a red flag now that I think about it.
Their issue with the holiday was that of consumerism. They saw every holiday as just the government distracting us with emotions, so we will spend money and just didn't want to contribute to capitalism. And while I too understand this plight because, well, it's true, I also have to say that literally just living, having a job, and paying for the food you eat also contributes to capitalism. Everything you do, if you exist in modern day America, is unfortunately contributing to capitalism. Why not use some of that for good and make your partner feel loved in the process?
Besides, everyone knows the best part of Valentine's Day is the day after, where all the candy is half off. That's the part my partner is most excited about every year. It's really cute. All in all, I'm happy where I am. My heart is full. I have a wonderful partner, and I am going to celebrate Valentine's Day. Not because I wait for that day every year to be reminded to be romantic, but because I have a love that I'm proud of, and I'm going to use every excuse I can to celebrate him and what we've gone through and what we have. We owe it to our ancestors, who were jailed or put to death for being gay. We owe it to the gay men that were kept in concentration camps during the Holocaust, long after the war had ended. We owe it to the modern-day high school kids that get bullied because of who they have crushes on. We owe it to the victims and the victims' families of recent homophobic and transphobic mass shootings. We owe it to the little kids growing up, praying to God, crying every night to change them, when all they really need is just to see two men or two women holding hands, to show them that they're normal, and that the world isn't such a dark, demented, and homophobic place that their parents want it to be. It's also full of light, and love, and people just like them. We owe it to each other. We owe it to ourselves. Our people have fought and died for this love, and I'll be damned if I don't celebrate it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I swear I wasn't trying to upset any cishets in the audience, but my videos are crafted for the LGBTQIA+ community. You have to keep that in mind. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Comment the qualities of your partner that you love or how you met. I love love stories. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr at AuthorDCConnect. But I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Happy Valentine's Day!